Hi, St. Andrews. Thank you for giving me just a few minutes to share with you. I want to start by telling you a story from my very first week here at St. Andrews, some 12 and a half years ago. One of the old saints of this parish, he was younger then, but so was I, Bob Cecil came in my office for a meeting about small groups. And over the course of that meeting, Bob said, when it comes to small group ministry, the most important thing is the relationships among the people and then the God stuff. And I, in my extensive wisdom as a young priest, I said, no, Bob, you got it backwards. The most important part is the God stuff and then the relationships among the people. Well, Bob looked at me and said, I think you're wrong. And I looked at Bob and said, no, Bob, you're wrong. And we ended that meeting agreeing warmly, I think, to disagree. And now looking back on it, I realize we were both right. Actually, the relationships we have with one another and the relationships we have with Christ are both vitally important. Asking which one comes first is a little bit like asking which side of the pancake you should eat first, the top or the bottom. And so now at St. Andrews, we talk all the time about building relationships that lead to Christ. And I start with this story because I know that in all the tremendously exciting growth we've seen these last years, growth in ministry, in opportunities out in the community, growth in people, and in all the excitement about the capital campaign and the building project and the new things that will bring, I know there's also a little bit of a concern about what happens if we grow too much? Will we lose the sense of community that makes this place so special? This is not a foolish concern. But we also have a God who wants to save the whole world. So we have to stretch out our arms in love. And what I want to share with you now is how this campaign and this building project aim to balance the wonderful opportunity we have for growth and the need we have to maintain the relationships and community that make this place so special. The headline feature of both the campaign and the new building project is the sanctuary. And you can tell this is the headline feature because the tower that will anchor the new plaza outside the Great Hall and the sanctuary is in the campaign logo. See how that works? This beautiful space with natural light and natural finishes will almost double our capacity, and it's desperately needed. Our 9 a.m. service is regularly at capacity or exceeding it. Our 11 o'clock service is on an increasingly steep trajectory to do so soon, certainly well before any building can be built. This last week, I had a meeting planning a 7-week training project to meet on the patio because we're just out of space. The opportunity to build a forever sanctuary for a worshiping community is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Honestly, some people never get this opportunity. Our young people will be married in this new space. Some of us will be buried in this space. And for all of us, from those in the nursery to those who take their walker with them to the communion rail today, this will be a place to meet Jesus Christ, to come be wrapped in his saving arms of love, and to experience his grace. And this will be the case for generations to come. Of the group of people who, over the course of history, will come to know Jesus Christ at St. Andrews, the far bigger group is made up of people who haven't ever set foot here yet. How cool is that? The biggest group of people who are going to meet Christ at St. Andrews is people who will meet him there in the space we are building. Building this new space will deepen our worship on Sunday mornings, and then will enliven and energize our people to go out and do ministry in the world. It will have a transformative effect on our life together. As wonderful as this is, as much as it represents the fulfillment of a God-given dream that has inspired this place from the beginning, this isn't all of it. The other spaces this project creates are vital too. The gathering spaces that will be created out of our repurposed Great Hall and out of the office space at the end of the building, these are places to come together, to share, to talk, to meet new friends, to greet old ones. This also opens up lots of new classroom space on Sunday mornings, and at other times our capacity is constrained. All these other spaces are just as much a part of the goal as the sanctuary. They're how we build new relationships and maintain existing relationships, the ones that lead us to Christ, that make St. Andrews so special. This is an extraordinary opportunity before us. And as we go through this campaign, I hope you will continue to pray the campaign prayer, God, what do you want to do through me? We have a magnet prayer reminder you've probably received. You can stick on the fridge. I've been particularly loving the phone wallpaper that Tim made that I installed on my phone. I see this prayer I see it too many times a day, probably. Make it a part of your life. The principle behind this campaign is equal sacrifice, not equal share. Every gift is the right size gift if it's what God wants to do through you. Thank you, St. Andrews, for letting God do all the amazing, healing, life-changing work he has done through you. And I'm so excited to see what more God has in store for us as we stretch out our arms of love.